Hey, this is Corey with the PromptWise. If ChatGPT is your all-purpose AI assistant, Claude may be the specialist you reach for when words really matter. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 practical situations where I often prefer Claude: rewriting email, polishing a report, working through a long document, matching a natural voice, and comparing a nuanced decision. This is not a Claude destroys ChatGPT video. Both tools are strong and both keep improving. The goal is much more useful. By the end, you'll know which one to open for the job in front of you, and you'll have prompts you can copy and use today. Let's start with the honest answer. Claude is not automatically better than ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is not automatically better than Claude. I think of Claude as a language-focused specialist. When I care about tone, structure, a long source document, or a thoughtful comparison, Claude is often the first place I test. ChatGPT remains an excellent general-purpose workbench. It's strong across a very broad mix of everyday tasks, files, data, images, and tools. So this is not about choosing a team, it's about building an AI toolbox and matching the tool to the task. Here are the 5 tests. First, we'll rewrite a difficult email without making it sound fake. Second, we'll polish a rough report without changing the facts. Third, we'll pull decisions and risks from a long document. Fourth, we'll ask Claude to match a natural voice. Fifth, we'll compare a decision where the answer is not simply yes or no. You can run every prompt in both Claude and ChatGPT. In fact, I recommend that you do because your own work is a better test than anyone else's leaderboard. For the demo, here is the prompt structure I want you to remember: role, task, source, and quality bar. Tell Claude who it should act like, what outcome you need, what material it must work from, and what good looks like. The prompt we're working with is act as a senior editor, improve the draft below for clarity and natural tone, preserve every fact, return the revision, then list the 3 most important changes. That final instruction, list the 3 most important changes, is more useful than it looks. It lets you see whether Claude understood your goal instead of simply handing you a mysterious rewrite. The mistake most people make is asking AI to make this professional. That often produces a stiff paragraph full of phrases nobody actually says. Instead, define the relationship and the boundaries. The prompt we're working with here is rewrite this email for a senior colleague. Make it direct, calm, and professional. Not overly warm or corporate. Keep every date and commitment. Give me 1 polished version and 1 shorter version. Notice what the prompt controls: the audience, the tone, the facts, and the output choices. Claude is especially useful here because you can keep iterating on the tone. Try follow-ups like less apologetic, more concise, or keep my original opening. You do not need to start over every time. Task 2 is report polish. Here the key instruction is: do not add facts or change status. Give Claude the structure you want. The improvement should come from organization and clarity, not from invented detail. The prompt that we're working with here is act as an executive editor, rewrite the update below for clarity and scannability. Do not add facts or change status. Use these sections: summary, accomplishments, blockers, risks, decisions needed, and next steps. This is a strong Claude workflow because you can paste rough notes and ask it to preserve the meaning while making the result easier for a leader to scan. If anything feels too polished or too certain, tell Claude use more cautious language and show where the source was ambiguous. Task 3 is long document review. Upload the source and ask for a decision brief, not a generic summary. A summary tells you what the document says. A decision brief tells you what matters next. Use the prompt, read the attached document, produce a 1-page decision brief, purpose 5 key findings, decisions already made, open questions, risks, owners, and next actions. Cite the page or section for every important claim. Flag anything ambiguous or contradictory. 2 quality controls matter here. Ask for page or section references, and ask Claude to flag uncertainty. Claude's projects and long context workflows are designed for working with reference materials, but you should still open the source and verify the important citations yourself. Task 4 is voice. Do not rely only on adjectives like authentic, engaging, or thought-provoking. These words mean different things to different people. A short sample of your real writing is more useful than 10 vague adjectives. The prompt you want here is, study the 3 writing samples below. Identify the voice in 5 bullets, then draft a 150-word LinkedIn post in that voice. Avoid hype, cliches, M-dashes, and generic AI phrases. Keep one concrete example and end with a natural question. Ask Claude to describe the voice before it writes. That gives you a chance to correct the style profile, then add specific avoid rules. Claude also supports styles and project instructions, which can help carry those preferences across related work. Task 5 is a nuanced comparison. Instead of asking which option is better, define the criteria that should drive the decision. Use this prompt. Compare option A and option B for a 25-person team. Build a decision table using cost, implementation effort, adoption risk, security, flexibility, and long-term maintenance. State your assumptions, identify missing information, and recommend a reversible next step. This gives you a decision memo you can challenge instead of a confident answer you're tempted to accept. The phrase reversible next step is especially valuable. It pushes the analysis towards a low-risk action such as a small pilot or a missing data check, instead of pretending the evidence is complete. This is one of my favorite Claude use cases, not making the decision for you, but improving the quality of your thinking. Here's my practical scorecard. I would start with Claude for natural rewriting, long source documents, and repeated tone adjustments. I would start with ChatGPT when I want a broad, everyday toolkit or a workflow that mixes many different kinds of tasks. But the final row matters most. Test both on your own work. Model behavior changes, your preferences matter, and the best tool is the one that consistently gives you a result that you can verify and use. If you use Claude repeatedly, set up a project for a real body of work. Add the reference material and project instruction that should remain stable. Then use a style or a clear voice instruction for how the output should sound. A simple rule is the project holds what Claude should know for this work. The style guides how Claude should write. Anthropic currently makes projects available across account tiers with plan-specific limits, so check your account for the exact options you have. These prompts turn a first draft into a collaborative editing process. That iteration, not the first response, is where Claude becomes genuinely useful. Make this 20% shorter without losing any fact. Show me the 3 sentences that sound most generic and rewrite only those. Challenge your own answer. What assumption is the weakest and what evidence would change the recommendation? Use the same professional safety rules you would use with any AI tool. Do not paste sensitive company, customer, patient, or personal information unless the tool and workflow are approved. Verify facts, numbers, and citations against the original source, and keep a human in the loop. Claude can draft, organize, and challenge your thinking, but you remain responsible for the work product. Your homework is simple. Take one real work task and run the same source material and prompt in both Claude and ChatGPT. Do not compare only the first draft. Give each tool the same follow-up edits and see which one understands your intent more consistently. Then comment below, where does Claude beat ChatGPT for you? And where does ChatGPT still win? Subscribe to the PromptWise for practical AI workflows you can use at work. Next, we'll continue the beginner series with Gemini.